and communicate, that could just open eyes to its direct approach. So let's get to the video. Let's check this one out here. This is a classic from Kevin Samuels. Let's get into it.
I actually have a question because I feel as though I don't want to say I'm the woman that defies a lot of the odds that you're referencing, but I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I am 32 years old. I have one child. I'm currently in a relationship, and I'm plus size.
Oh, she's plus size, y'all.
I'm having conversations with some of my female friends. They say I'm the woman, as when they watch your videos, that defies the odds that you're referencing because I'm in a relationship. And on the other hand, they want to know I'm dating a man who has a blue collar job. He has his own business. And I am a working woman. I work in the finance industry. I'm also a homeowner. I have a lot that I bring to the table. So my female friends want to know why they can't be in a position like me. And I've also had men who are single that say they won't date a woman like me because I bring too much to the table. I don't make them feel like they would necessarily say that they are needed in a relationship, but I don't know how to have a conversation with acquaintances, colleagues that are single.
Okay. Two questions. Women see you as the one that beat the odds. And they want to know why they can't be like you?
Why they aren't in the same similar position.
Well, let's start with the basic stuff. Are they attractive?
I would say that they are attractive.
Okay, let's refine it. Are they 8s, 9s, and 10s in the face?
No.
Then
9s and 10s, no. Some 8s, yes.
And I have a different scale than most sisters use. I put Beyonce at 8, Kelly Rowland at 9.
Right.
Okay, so and you said you're a plus size model. Or they?
Wait, before we go on here, I missed that part of the analogy, right? That Kevin seemed to use, and it was so pointed. It was so simple when he would break down. It's like, okay, he puts Beyonce at an 8, Kelly Rowland at a 9, Rihanna at a 10 before she had the baby. Of course, he passed away before Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, right? So that, even though so many people may not subscribe to Destiny's Child, right? The 8 and 9s will Beyonce and Kelly. And you may go vice versa. Some people like Beyonce over Kelly Rowland. The point is that he would use 8 and 9 for Beyonce and Kelly, depending on how you're feeling. He looked at Kelly Rowland's more attractive, right? So it's just a good question to break up. What's going on, Derek? It's just a good thing to bring up to say that, are you from the physicality looks an 8 and a 9 like Kelly Rowland or Beyonce? That's what we're talking about here. Everyone will say that they're an 8, they're a 9 or a 10, but they're the real 8s and 9s here. If we saw Kelly Rowland rocking in here, could you compete with her? That I love when Kevin seems to do that here. Let's continue.
Are they in your area?
I'm not a model. I'm just a plus size woman.
Plus size. I mean, plus size, not plus size. Are they in shape? Are they fit?
Fit, no, but they have a shape. We're in the South, so let me start by saying that. So women who are more voluptuous like myself or have more of a curvy physique like myself are more attractive versus if you go somewhere else, then...
No, now we're starting to get out. Now, I'm from the Midwest and I live in the South. We call this stuff voluptuous, and these are nice words. And I'm not going to go pejorative, but this is part of the problem because men say they won't date for several reasons.
Okay.
For several reasons. Most men don't want women to weigh more than they do.
Facts.
We don't care where it fell. So if your friends are wondering why they can't get your outcomes, they need to be on your level or better. Are they there?
On my level, yes.
Okay. You'll say, okay, they're on your level as far as aesthetic.
Yes.
Okay. Then we move on. Do they have children?
Yes.
More than one.
Yes. I'm the only one of my friends that has one child.
Most of the other ones has more.
Yes.
Okay, so they are on your level aesthetically, but they got more kids.
Hmm.
Does that increase their overall value or decrease it?
It would decrease, I'm assuming.
You see how she gonna say it would decrease? I'm assuming. You see, that's being disingenuous because the way that he slowly broke that down, he didn't have to give stats or statistics here. He was just very conversational in his delivery and his flow here. And so when you hear this here, are you overweight? AKA gonna say, I'm voluptuous, I'm plus size. Okay. And you're over 30 years old. You're overweight, over 30 years old with multiple kids. Here's the thing here, ladies. I'm telling you from advice here from a man outside of YouTube. I make a pretty good money, and the way I move when it comes to women. If you are bigger than me, I don't want to deal with you, like you said here. No man wants to deal with a woman who's bigger than him. I went on a couple of first dates before. I went ahead and talked to in the past some bigger women. You want to know something here? I'm gonna be honest to y'all, ladies here. I am a man who can afford y'all. Take away this YouTube game here that I'm investing in. I can afford y'all. I can say that honestly. I can take it. If I really was out here, I can take y'all the trips. I can fly you first class. You can ride in a hot little BMW. You can eat dinner and steaks, whatever y'all want to do. We can get it. But here's the thing though. My status and what I do for work is what you're looking for here. And I am telling you, if I was out here and I was looking for what I was looking here right now, I don't want no big girl. You weigh more than me. Go back to the gym, take them LBs off, and come back. Number one. Number two, you got kids. As soon as you got kids, you are automatically moved to the RUO category, recreational use only. And me, with my money and my resources, I will not, and I'll say I will not think about marrying you, things of that nature. And when I say RUO, don't take it the wrong way, ladies. We can kick it. We can have a good time. We can go ahead and eat dinner, things of that nature. But you want the long lasting commitment, things of that nature from a guy like me, it's not going to happen. If you're looking for that, I'm going to say you need to go back to your baby daddy, because that's not the situation. You see, women don't want to understand here. You may say, Dave, you're just one person. Well, you know what, though? I am one man who associates with other men who got more money than me and think just like me and is even more harsher than me. So, ladies, if I'm telling you from my standpoint, so you want a six-figure brother, I've been there. I'm there and then some. Not only do I make six figures, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of free game here, guys. Do you even have 100,000 saved in the bank? Because if you know anything about finances, the true goal is saving the first 100,000, and that's when you can start building compound interest. That CI, baby. But we're not gonna do is make this a finance channel here right now. The idea is that when people have money, start saving, and the hardest goal is to get to that first 100,000, and then once you get that, then you're able to build compound interest so that your legacy and your retirement savings grow even bigger here. So I'm telling you, I'm a man who makes six figures and got six figures in the bank plus that. And I'm telling you what other men who got more money than me is telling you, but y'all don't want to hear it. Let's get back to the video because we're telling you the guy that you want don't want you. You need to go back to your baby daddy.
What do you think?
I would assume how I look at it is if you got multiple baby daddies, that's going to decrease. If you were previously married and you have twins, I would look at you as being on the same level as myself.
That's really kind of a distinction, not a difference in this case. But if we're talking about multiple children, if I wanted to take you out to dinner and your kid comes with us, that's one plate. Two kids, that's two plates. Everything else is double. It's a decrease.
That's fair.
So you're already stacking up the fact that if you're, and I'm just going to assume that what you're saying, they're eights or better. Well, wait, let me back up. You said they're not nines and tens, but at least eight.
Yes.
Are there any that are not eights? I mean, that are under?
Yes.
What percentage of a woman are under eight?
I would assume 50%, not more.
All right. So we're talking about women that are not as attractive, more kids, and wondering why they can't beat the odds. The numbers tell the story.
Okay. But I guess in my thinking, my question is, if you have multiple children, you've had multiple opportunities to be in a relationship. And for whatever reason, a man finds her attractive enough to be in a relationship. I don't have any colleagues that just have kids out of one night stands and continue to have children with men.
Were they married?
Yes.
All of them?
No.
Marry before you carry.
1 in 4 black women will get married. So I'm going to assume that the stats hold, most of them were unmarried.
Yes.
So unmarried women with multiple children who are 6s and below, who were overweight.
Yes. I get what you're saying in that regard. So that makes sense.
Trying to be as nice as I can, but I mean, and this is what I try to let guys understand. The way women's calculus is that you guys factor things differently. Well, it's the baby daddy or the husband or this or that, or I mean, because I can deal with a man, that means I've been in a relationship. Men look at your ex and your children's father, and that's as good as you'll ever get.
Exactly. I want to pause that here because, ladies, some of y'all don't understand the fact that who your baby daddy is not the next man. Sometimes you try to level up and you try to talk to a guy like me, which I had happened in the past when I was blue pill, when I had the mask on, didn't know no better, and dating baby mamas like that who had multiple kids. Over 14 years ago in my 20s, being dumb as ever, right? And here's the thing, though. I never took them seriously. Even though that I did like them a lot, there was something inside of me before I became red pill, before I woke up, before I even came to Kevin Samuels content. I'll be honest with you ladies here, but you say I was a blue pill brother. And let's say that at that time when I did date single women like that, single mothers, right? I could not take it to the next step. That kid, or kids plural, because I dated one girl who had 2 kids, one girl who had 1 kid, and one girl who had 3 kids. Yeah, your boy was messing up in his 28, 29 years, right? Damn God, I don't do that no more, right? But here's the thing here, guys, right? The fact that when those kids are, and I saw a picture of the baby dad, and I looked at those guys, I was like, he ain't me. So if you made a bad decision like this in the past here, I don't trust you to make the same decisions in the future. If you make this bad of a decision, seeing baby dads who are broke down, who are no good, who don't do nothing, and basically having me come in to be what? The cleanup man. I'm telling you, ladies, even guys who are not even red pill, who never heard Kevin Samuels content before. There's gonna be some of you guys who want to be stepdaddy season. Before I knew about the red pill content, I had this innate thing in me saying that I can't do this. We can kick it, but I can't go any further than this. I'm not gonna say nothing to say, hey, I want this to be forever. You my one and only. You my one and only. No. So ladies to understand that your kids and your baby daddy is a hindrance to getting the man that you want. Hence why we say marry before you carry.
That's true.
So if the guy that your friends decide to have a baby with was down here, that's the level. They're not gonna get a man up here.
What's going on, Dilly?
Up here would look like a straight sucker for going to get her.
Okay.
And so it doesn't matter how much money they make or anything else like that. Because you also said that men would not date a woman like yourself because of your income or something, because what you bring to the table.
With my income, I have a bachelor's degree. I'm a homeowner. I have 1 child. I have my own standard in how I live, but I guess just looking at those things, they perceive me as a woman that is high maintenance.
But
I feel like at 32 years old, I'm not going to be living at my mama's house. I'm not going to be surviving and having the demand of somebody else to take care of me.
But the problem isn't the men. The problem is not going to be the men. See, let me flip it. You and your friends would not just screw anybody that wanted to screw you. You got to have a standard, right?
Absolutely.
You deserve that because it's your body, your choice, right?
Right.
And the world would be crazy to try to tell you, ladies, if you just screw every man that wants to screw you because it's the right thing to do because they deserve to have a shot, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Then we're gonna flip the same thing. The men can't be wrong when they say this is what I want for. This is the standard I have for a woman I want to marry. I don't want her to have somebody else's child. I don't want her to be a certain weight, a certain look. I don't want her to have a certain kind of attitude. And just like no one can tell women that you should have to have sex with the kind of men that you don't find meet up to your standard, you can't tell men that they should wife women that don't meet up to theirs. Regardless.
That is so true here. I don't mean cut Kevin off here, but ladies need to understand what men's requirements are. It seems like when women like something, it's okay to have a preference, but when we like it, it's demonized. It's wrong. They saying we're pedo for liking certain things. But ladies, we want a woman. When we say men here, I'm speaking more for the majority here. We prefer women who are a certain size. We prefer women who have a certain attitude, hence no attitude, where we'll add a woman who's going to be on our schedule, on our program. We don't want a woman to fight with. We want a woman to be our peace. We want a woman to, when we come home, we want to be able to rest easy. We're not trying to be out here in corporate America, out here working or doing YouTube channels, fighting with the world. So when we come to you, we're not trying to fight with you. We're trying to come home. And ladies do not understand that. For some reason, women are trying to compete with your own boyfriends, fiancés, or husbands when it's not a competition, because men and women are different. Ladies, you need to take this information and heed it and listen here, because your own thinking is what women are thinking. It's not what men are. Let's continue. Let Kevin cook some more.
Regardless as to we want to say because I have a house or a bachelor's, that's a modern talking point to make more women sleep better at night. That ain't why
Thanks,
men
Derek.
don't do it. It's because if you had the same women with the same kind of stuff you talk about, if they were fit, feminine, feeling cooperative, and submissive, those would be gone just like that.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So,
I never looked at it from that perspective, but I would agree with that.
But see, the thing and important, and what I'm trying to get ladies to understand is oftentimes you don't look at it from a man's perspective. You always look at it from a woman's perspective, and that's typically filtering your logic through your emotions and then giving women the benefit of the doubt instead of holding women strictly accountable as if you would do to a man. You would hold a man strictly accountable before you gave him the benefit of the doubt. Women would.
I agree with that.
So when women say, girl, watch this channel and you beat the odds, well, I can understand where they're kind of coming from, but this is why I'm so adamant on the fact of having a child outside of wedlock is always going to cost.
It is.
And especially multiples. So, in most men's mind, if he was good enough to have a baby with, why aren't you his wife? And most men's responses are completely insufficient. So what you're starting to find is many women are starting to lie. Mm-hmm. They're starting to lie and say, oh, well, there was abuse. Which is a lie most of the time, because when I ask, well, was there a police report? Was it mutual combat? You go back on my channel, and there have been maybe 2 women who've actually filed police reports in the last 3 years that I've talked to who claim violence.
I would agree with that.
But I have them every week claiming abuse.
Well, with my daughter's father and I had my daughter when I was 21. Mm-hmm. And we were coming into adulthood, partying, so on and so forth. And it just didn't work out. I think it's just because I was more groomed to be a mother and motherly, so on and so forth. And you're 21, you want to live your best years. And that was ultimately the reason why we ended our relationship. It did not go bad. There was no abuse. I would never say.
Well, you don't strike me as a woman that has a lot of attitude, and you haven't been, loud, talkative, argumentative, or difficult to get along with. And unfortunately, if you watch my show, that's typically not how a lot of women get, especially when I start saying some things that they don't like. Relationships fail. They do. And
absolutely.
They happen. But we as a community would do better if we married earlier, not early marriage, but married earlier. Number two, if women.
Hold up, before he gets next, you guys hear that? He didn't say, he said marry early, but he had the purpose that not marry too early, but marry early. Fellas, even the women in the chat here, how many times we've heard people say, I don't want to get married too early, you know, 22, that's too young, 23 is too young. But for some reason, though, you guys want to ignore Mother Nature. And then what happens when you ignore Mother Nature? Father time comes for you. The reason why we say, look at the past, look at our grandmothers and our great grandmothers when they got married young and they married before they carried, is because one of the things that I bring down, as well as Kevin Samuels here, that your bodies are built to have babies and deal with the pregnancies when you're younger, when you're in your 20s. Hence why when you turn 35, the age, that's when you start geriatric pregnancy. And I just learned some new stats that actually it's only 10 to 15% of your eggs that you have at 35. And I kept saying that women had close to 30%. And it took a woman to explain this to me. Said, Dave, you're doing right, but you're giving these women too fair of a shake. I was like, I am? Said, Dave, most women have 10% of their eggs by 30. So by you getting on 35, you're giving them a grace period. And I had to go ahead and look this up. And I was like, you know what? You're goddamn right. So, ladies, when he's saying that you need to marry earlier, is because the fact that you're only born with a finite amount of eggs, and the fact that men prefer to build their own families, not the stepdaddy season where you add your punk butt and stir. So, ladies, heed this here. We're telling you what we prefer. And if you guys don't like it, then you guys don't want a man that you want. If you want a simp man, you want a beta man to do what you want, even though you're not going to love him the way you're really going to love him, then go get him. But the man that you want has requirements. Do you want to follow those requirements? I'm not saying that you're going to be a slave, but if you have requirements, so does he. Let's continue.
Made it a requirement before they had a child that they were somebody's legal wife, because that makes it easier for, even if it does fail, for somebody else to come along and say, so. But did you have anything else that you want to add into that?
Oh, no, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was a good one there by Kevin Samuels, right? And I see the chat here. Let me get to the supers first before I give a little breakdown that. Guys, did you love that video? That was a simple one, right? But we saw how Kevin Samuels moved with that one, how he was able to, use his wording. He wasn't harsh. He wasn't cursing the woman out. He didn't say no disrespect. You know what he said? You don't seem like the type of woman who has this kind of attitude. He even mentioned that, right? He was polite. He was demure. He was very deliberate in his talking points. Let me get to these supers, guys, here and get to it here. Some of y'all dropped them early. Don't think I didn't forget about y'all. I need to let the video play out here. Shout out to my man MOP with the $2 holla. Turn the channel.